Okay. Meeting room will come to order. We're now holding the July 10th, 2023 meeting of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court. This time, I'll ask Magistrate of the 3rd District to lead us in an invocation.
Let's pray. Our dear gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you, Lord, come on ourselves, Lord, before you tonight, Lord. We just ask, Lord, that you just help us, lead us and guide us, Lord, always, Lord, making the right decisions, Lord, for this county, Lord, and the residents of this county, Lord, I pray. Forgive us each of our sins, all of our shortcomings, dear Father, I ask. And Father, we just pray that you'll be with the ones, Lord, has lost loved ones during this time, Lord. We ask that you will just comfort their hearts, help them, Lord, through this trying times they're facing, Lord. And Father, there's so many, Lord, that's in the hospital beds, Lord, right now, Lord. And just ask that you just lay your healing hand, Father, upon them, help them, Lord, strengthen them, and be also with their family members, Lord, as they're there by their bedsides, Lord. And always give them traveling mercies, Lord, back and forth from there to their homes, Lord. And again, we just ask that you just bless the leaders of this nation, help them, Lord, in making the right decision, Lord, for this nation, Lord. And we'll be careful to give you the praise and Lord for it all. These things we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
If you would join us in a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you. At this time, I'll call the roll. This will also serve as a mic check. We have all members of the court present, one joining us on Zoom. Rhonda, we appreciate that. Magistrate of the 1st District, Rhonda Ray. Here. Magistrate of the 2nd District, Lane Cope.
Here.
Magistrate of the 3rd District, Larry Anderson.
Here.
Magistrate of the 4th, Jeff Cyphers.
Here.
County Attorney Colin Hurt.
Here.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Letter D, under general order, status of the minutes from the June meeting. You'll notice we had several meetings in June, special called meetings. Those minutes are being prepared. We can't approve them until they've been prepared and submitted. So at the next meeting, you'll see this one as well as each of those special called and the regular meeting. Letter E, departmental reports. I'll ask Mr. Ricky Melton to come forward, road supervisor, and give his report.
Good evening to each and every one.
If you would, Ricky, use that mic for so Rhonda can hear you.
Good evening to each and every one. Hope y'all had a good day. Don't really have a whole lot. We're coming along with Old Fort, the FEMA Bridge project. Should be done the 3rd part at the end of this week. And so we'll have the backfill and all that stuff that's up to us to do, but so that project's coming on really good.
Great. Where are we on, Rhonda had asked earlier, where are we on the storm damage, the recent set of storms as far as cleanup?
We're pretty well caught up with the things that we have, and we're back on schedule today. So, I mean, I'm sure there's still stuff out there that's stopped up, don't get me wrong. But as far as trees, where everybody can travel, get in and out, as far as what we found, you know, that's all pretty well cleaned up. In Old Fort there, we've lost some asphalt where the creek took up, and stuff like that. We're not able to repair until we do something further on it, or get some help with it or something. So, I mean, it costs quite a bit to want to replace it. That's a couple of times it's happened, so it's need to look at doing something different there before we do repair it, I think.
Okay. Any questions for our road supervisor? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
EM Director, Greg Carey.
I don't have a lot to report either, but actually the affiliation agreement between the squad and the special response team, we've got those done. And each year, annually, we have to update things, affiliation agreements, and those kind of things. And that's what I'm working on right now. Got the fiscal year EM. It actually ends September. Yes, the new fiscal year starts October 1. So it's. And I'm getting things ready for that. I've got some reports and some stuff that me and Stacy works on. That's what I'm working on right now.
Okay, very good. Questions for our EM Director? Thank you very much, Greg. ABC Officer, Mr. Junior Smith.
Afternoon.
Good evening.
For the month of May, on alcohol sales, 167, 395, 46. Year to date, we're at 400,000, 144, 58. Regulatory fees for May, $8,019.62. Year to date, $18,027.33. Everything's in order that I'm aware of, no problems. Everybody's paid up and good to go.
Good deal.
I'm working on a license that's due in August. It's off from the rest of it. It's due in August.
Very good. Questions for our ABC officer? Thank you, Junior. Jailer Thomas J. Brown.
Thomas J. Brown, Cumberland County Jailer. We had a total of June of 53 runs, 46 to Adair, 3 to Byron, 1 to Fentress, 1 to Warren County, 2 to Wayne, for a total miles of 3,437. It was the first day of the month. We had 33 in Adair County. As of today, we have 33. During the month of June, we had 19 on home incarceration for a total of 416 days, saving the county approximately $13,728 in jail bail.
Very good. Any questions for our jailer? Thank you very much, Thomas J.
Thank you.
Solid Waste Coordinator, Mr. Jefferson Avenue.
Just a few updates from the last month. The first being that we did lose one of our private haulers. This was actually one of the ones that we had new last month, and they decided they will not be servicing the county, so not a big thing. I don't think they had very many customers in the area anyway. The next is we got a $4,000 grant for our waste tire program, so that will go towards, usually we have 2 different waste tire collection programs, one in the spring, one in the fall, so that will go towards that. And then the last is an update to our former recycling building, now called the Cumberland County Annex. We have had people still bringing recycling materials over to the annex. We cannot accept those anymore. It's not sustainable at all for us to take those, because if we do, then it ends up, we either have to throw them away or sell them, and it ends up costing the county money in the long run. So we cannot continue that. And there are signs posted saying no dumping or anything like that.
Very good. Questions for our Solid Waste Coordinator? Thank you very much, Jefferson. Sheriff Keaton Williams.
Good evening. I'll keep it short. I don't have anything to report on. Everything, as far as I know, is running good and smooth. We're working hard to be proactive everywhere that we can, but everything's going good, and I appreciate you all.
Very good. Questions for the sheriff? Thank you very much, Keaton. PVA, Ms. Jeannie Shea Watson.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. I'm pretty loud without it, so. I was just going to give you all an update on our reassessment. It's over with. We sent out over 4,000 letters to citizens in the county about their assessment, whether it was raised, lowered, if it was changed at all. They got a letter. And then the assessment period was June the 15th through the 30th. And we talked to several taxpayers, wanting to know why the increases, and some asked why they said their property was valued more than what we sent the letter out for. So that's a good thing. I mean, it's I don't think they realized what that meant, but we didn't raise it or anything. So, and we did have people that just couldn't understand, you know, what the letter was, and we tried to explain that to them the best that we could, trying to get assessments more up to date with values of property in the county now. Which some were glad to hear that their property was worth that much, but whether they want to pay more taxes or not, I don't think that's what they were hoping for. So, with the increase, using the tax rate from last year, 2022, I multiply the difference between the assessment for real estate, farm, and commercial, and there's $99,559,400 increase. And if you multiply that by the tax rate that was set for 2022, it comes up to $38,828 more than you would have received last year. Using that rate.
$38,000 more dollars.
Yeah, $38,828. That does not include oil and gas assessments. Those come out of Frankfurt. I'm not sure, we used to do those a long time ago, but I don't even see any figures on that anymore. So I have no idea how much that takes up. Well, I can tell you what it took in 2022 on our certification. Let me look and see how much it was. Last year, unmined coal was nothing. We don't have any unmined coal, but the oil and gas and mineral rights were $1,795,000. And then telecom.
Just to be clear, of assessed value, not
assessed
what?
Value.
Yeah, okay.
As I said, yeah, I deal with assessed value, no money. They don't let me have any money. And telecom, which is like Duval County buildings and those little square, those little, I don't know what they call them, little things on the side of the road. It's just a little thing. We have those assessed too. Intangible assessments. So those three will bring in more revenue. I can't tell you the exact amount, but it's going to be over $40,000 total probably for this year. That's just an estimate. Without those numbers, we can't get you the exact figure, of course. And it still has to be approved by the state. I sent all my figures in this week, and it has to be approved by the state. If they don't feel like we've raised enough, then they will. If I don't have 90%, then they will make me raise more. But I think this will be more than sufficient for that. And we had no appeals that I'm aware of. We did have a couple of people that said they wanted to appeal, and I filled the paperwork out and give them all the information they wanted. And after that, they didn't, they evidently decided not to appeal. As far as I know, I haven't asked Brian, the county clerk, but they had to have that in by Wednesday, last week. And they, as far as I know, nobody returned it. So that's good news that we don't have to do that. Anybody have any questions on how that come about? Okay. I do have some information on the boats, but do you want me to talk about that when there's a discussion on the?
Just wait and see if there are questions during the discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, and before we move into old business, I would like to, at this time, recognize our newest part-time team member, Miss Judy Watson-Wise. If you would stand, Judy. Several folks know you throughout the community, but this gives the court an opportunity to meet you in person as well as those in the audience today. Judy has made a noticeable difference since she started with us here in the courthouse. It looks better, smells better, all around better courthouse, and Judy, we appreciate you for that. So thank you for being here with us today. Very welcome. Okay, moving into old business. Jefferson, is our time okay on the video? I know it said time, okay. Old business, letter A, second and final reading regarding proposed ordinance that aims to increase county tax revenue in a fair and sustainable way. That is the insurance premium tax that had the first reading at the last meeting. That doesn't mean it's law or that it's not law. That just simply means first reading of two. So at this time, we'll have the second reading and then discussion questions from the members of the court. Local government premium tax ordinance, County of Cumberland, Kentucky. An ordinance imposing a license fee or tax upon insurance companies for the privilege of engaging in the business of insurance within the County of Cumberland, establishing a license fee or tax upon insurance companies at the rate of 10% on inland marine premiums collected and 4% of the premiums collected for all insurance types except health and life. establishing an effective date of July 1, 2024, and a delinquency date of 31 days after the end of each calendar quarter. Establishing a penalty interest charge for any license fee or tax not paid on or before the due date, which shall be the tax interest rate defined by KRS 131.010 subsection 6, and published in the annual local government premium tax bulletin issued by the Department of Insurance. Establishing a 2% penalty for a license fee or tax not paid within 30 days after the due date, and requiring insurance companies subject to the license fee or tax to furnish quarterly and annual reports required by KRS 91A.080 and 806 KAR 2 subsection 095. Be it ordained by the County of Cumberland and the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Section 1, definitions. Letter A, insurance company means any company authorized to transact insurance business in the state of Kentucky in accordance with KRS Chapter 304. Insurance companies shall also include a surplus lines broker licensed in accordance with KRS Chapter 304, Subtitle 10. Letter B, local government means a city, county, charter county, consolidated local government, urban county government, or unified local government that by this ordinance imposes a license fee or tax upon insurance premiums. Section 2, there is hereby imposed on each insurance company a license fee or tax for the privilege of engaging in the business of insurance within Cumberland County. Section 3, except as provided in Section 4 of this ordinance, the license fee or tax imposed upon each insurance company with respect to any insurance policy which is not life insurance or health insurance policy shall be 10% on inland marine policies and 4% on all other premiums actually collected within each calendar quarter by reason of the issuance of such policies on the risk located within Cumberland County. The license fee or tax shall apply only to those classes of business which such insurance company is authorized to transact, less all premiums returned to policyholders. No license fee or tax imposed upon premium receipts shall apply to the following: policies of group health insurance policies issued to individuals, workers' compensation insurance, annuities, federal flood insurance, municipal bonds, leases, or other debt instruments issued by or on behalf of the Cumberland County Fiscal Court, policies of high-deductible health plans, policies of insurance insured or reinsured by the Federal Crop Insurance Corporation, policies insuring or naming the state or one of its agencies or political subdivisions as an insured, and surety bonds where the state or one of its agencies or political subdivisions is the responsible party. Policies issued to the public service companies which pay ad valorem taxes, entities issued a certificate of authority to do business in Kentucky as only a health maintenance organization, entities issued a certificate of authority to do business in Kentucky as a captive insurer, domestic life insurance companies electing to be taxed under the provision of KRS Chapter 136.320, and all other life and health insurance policies. All license fees imposed by this ordinance shall be due no later than 30 days after the end of each calendar quarter. The payment shall be submitted to the local government together with Form LGT-141 on or before the due date. Any license fee or tax not paid on or before the due date shall bear interest from the date due until paid at the interest rate established annually by the Department of Revenue for unpaid or underpaid taxes. This interest shall be paid to the local government together with a license fee or tax that is due. In addition, the insurance company shall pay to the local government a penalty in the amount of 2% on license tax or fee not paid within 30 days after the due date. In accordance with KRS Chapter 91, letter A.080, subsection 8, each insurance company subject to the license fee or tax imposed by this ordinance shall annually, by March 31st, furnish the local government a written breakdown of all collections in the preceding calendar year for the following categories of insurance: casualty, automobile, inland marine, fire, and allied perils. The local government shall transmit a copy of this ordinance and any amendments thereto to the Kentucky Commissioner of Insurance at least 100 days prior to the effective date of the ordinance. The ordinance shall become effective on the first day of July 2024. That is the second reading. Now I'll entertain questions from the court. Rondell, are you still with us? Were you able to get that, sir?
Yes.
Very good. Questions, comments from
I
the
got
court?
one right off. Inland marine is totally different than watercraft. Am I not right?
I'm not sure that I understand the question.
I don't know that inland marine covers watercraft. Wade probably knows more than.
You are correct.
Yeah. I think that's on equipment, and I think that's totally different away from watercraft.
Saying that it doesn't include watercraft of any kind?
It's gonna include every piece of equipment. Wade probably know more about it than I do.
Yeah, usually it's products that are transported somewhere. Like I have an inland marine, for instance, on my ring, where if I lost a diamond or something in, the first article is considered an inland marine, something that's moving all the time. That is not a boat policy. Y'all are trying to.
And boat policies, Cumberland boat policies would fall under,
Watercraft,
but not inland marine?
right. I'm pretty sure.
So there's no breakdown. Okay. Okay, so watercraft, the argument here is watercraft is not included at all in inland marine?
Wade, somebody's smarter than me.
A couple of other examples, computer equipment, electronics, fine arts, and collectibles, things like that are all considered inland marine, but usually somebody wants an additional policy on covers some of their personal stuff over and above what their homeowners might do or something like that. Once again, that is not a, Jeffrey's correct, that is not a boat policy. If y'all are trying to attack those.
So then you'd be looking at, to that point, you're looking at, if it was, if I understand correctly here, because none of those other categories, I mean, there's not a watercraft category outside of that then.
I
So,
don't know.
so we'd be, you would then have things in that category, it sounds like, that are not exclusively watercraft, from what I understand then. So that would be problematic if the goal then is, did we just lose Rondell? Okay, but I digress. That very good point.
I just,
Received on that, so.
somebody else told me
Yeah.
that inland marine didn't cover both, that's how I know. Don't make me out to be smart.
Judge, if we've lost,
Actually, turn the mic to you if you can.
if we've lost the other magistrate, and then we've run into this problem, I'd like to move that we table this till all the fiscal court members can be here and discuss this, and we want to pursue it in the correct manner.
I think that's a very good idea, that a motion
I move that we.
would require a second. If there is a second, if the meeting will, of course, seconded by the member of the 4th District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed, no. Motion passes. Very good. Appreciate that very much, District 4 and District 2 Magistrate. Sorry we lost District 1 there. Moving into new business, cash transfer. This is the actual movement of cash money from one section to the other. We've got movement from the general fund to the jail fund in the amount of $40,700. We need a motion and a second in order for this to occur.
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of the 2nd District. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Moving into budget transfers, you'll see that on your agenda, but we don't have any budget transfers necessary for this one. Moving down to letter C, that's warrants. Those are the bills that we have to pay. Need a motion and a second to pay those that are before us, submitted in your packet.
Motion.
So moved by the magistrate of the 2nd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of the 3rd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Request from the Reapportionment Commission. Gentlemen, you have in your packets a request from that commission. Remember, this is the group that works to set the precinct lines for us. We have to do that every time there's a census. They have their proposed lines, but they don't have the mapping system set up where it can map those lines on the GIS system and do the boundaries. They are requesting for us to use the Area Development District at their rate of pay scheduled, and then that would mean that we have a certain number of hours that we owe them for if they actually do the work. So this says that they expect it to take 10 hours or less. So if it be the will of the court to comply with that request, I'll entertain a motion not to exceed 10 hours worth of work from the Area Development District.
Judge, what was their hourly rate?
45 an hour,
45 an hour, so that's another $450.
not to exceed 450.
That sounds pretty reasonable, so I'll move that we accept that.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been properly moved and seconded by the magistrate of the first and seconded by the magistrate of the second, seconded by the magistrate of the third. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Letter E, under new business, cell service inquiry. We have issued a press release on this some time ago, but as an update and a request for help from the general public. We have had communications with 3 of the major carriers in Cumberland County, cell service carriers in Cumberland County. They are open to conversations about improving service in the county, but they need help. So if you or someone you know has what you believe to be a suitable location for a cell tower, please let us know. You're welcome to email those in. You can call and give us that information, your name and then the address. But if you wish to email us, you can email us at cumberlandcountyteam@gmail.com. cumberlandcountyteam@gmail.com. And that would allow us to then share that information with these cell providers. Gentlemen, any questions on letter E? Moving into letter F. We have a signed petition, fully signed petition on Cooper Riddle Road for a road closure. This will constitute a first reading. This will be the road in its entirety. We'll need a second reading and then at that time a vote before it can be removed from the county road system. Magistrate 2, since this is in your district, do you have any reason that this road should not be removed from the county road system?
No, I think all the parties that's involved with the road wants it closed and wants it private, so I see no reason not to take it off the county maintenance if that's their wish.
Very good. Mr. County Attorney, we'll be sending information to your office in for advertisement so that it can be advertised in the Cumberland County News. We'll send it to the local radio as well. Any questions from the rest of the court on that? Moving into letter G, Judge Executive nominations for court approval. We have with us tonight my nomination for the Aging Advisory Council. This is a council part of the Lake Cumberland Area Development District, and that is Ms. Jill Davila. Jill, if you would, please stand. I am nominating for that appointment Ms. Jill Davila. She's a frequent volunteer at several of our different countywide functions. We appreciate her service, and I hope that you all, as members of the court, will vote to confirm her here this evening. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to confirm.
So moved.
So moved by the magistrate of the 3rd District. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by the magistrate of the 4th. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Congratulations, Jill. Thank you for serving. Letter H, Cumberland County Annex, changes in operation. Jefferson, our solid waste coordinator, alluded to this. We need help from every member of the court as well as those members of the general public. Please let folks know that our current Cumberland County recycling building is not used for recycling. As Jefferson mentioned, it's not a viable option. So we are now using that as a way to decrease and soon eliminate our storage costs that we're having to pay for storage units. So we'll be moving records and things in there as well as continuing to use that for our USDA commodity food distribution. So please help us spread that word. Letter I, under new business, review of bids for railing cribbing work. So we have here railing cribbing work. Remember, that's to prevent erosion, where they take the guardrail, the steel, stop that. From Natco Inc. on each of the roads, because it was one bid amount for all of them together. Bruton Hollow, Cache Creek, Dividing Ridge, Humphrey Hollow, Murray Branch, Otter Creek, Punching Camp Creek, Sexton Fork, Warsaw, West Fork, and West Fork Spur for a total bid amount of $974,000, $974,237. Contractor to furnish all material, equipment, and labor to complete each site. Contractor to follow all pertinent safety rules and procedures, including traffic control. Contractor shall work with the county and local property owners to complete project to the satisfaction of all. Contractor is informed of completion timelines, which, gentlemen, remember that's October. That's when we have to have this work done, and shall schedule accordingly. All work must be inspected by project before payment will be authorized. 10% of project amount may be retained to completion of all projects. A $100,000 performance bond or other agreeable form of security assurance may be required. Contractor will coordinate work with the geotechnical engineer and other designated representatives as noted by the owner. So I'll start it down here. You can take a look at that. That is our bid for the rail and cribbing work. Any questions from, and do we have a representative from company here? No.
Who done it, right? Is that who done it last time? Is that who done it last time?
They have done it previously, yeah.
That is just a little bit more than I expected.
I agree. I agree. Rondell, did you hear all that? Okay.
Got the one bid.
Well, yes, correct. Correct.
Getting all the FEMA rates and stuff. Will that FEMA rates provide that?
I don't have an answer for that. FEMA will likely cover that because that is lower than what we had estimated as far as on that. Now, we don't get money if we don't spend the money, so it's not like we're making money if we accept the bid. We would still have to pay 20% of whatever the cost is.
Will those jobs be designated where if, should we have to borrow money that to cover those until we get reimbursed by FEMA, that they would cover the interest, FEMA would cover the interest on that? I know that's something we discussed a little bit back.
Right. So if you can show that the money was used exclusively for that, it's my understanding you can submit to FEMA. They're not guaranteed to reimburse it, but you could submit and request it. So, but just because we request it doesn't mean that they have to reimburse us for it. But good question.
Will they be designated that that's where the money was spent in these jobs? It should be.
It would have to be if we get a loan, but I'm not comfortable with that.
I'm just saying if we went that direction.
Yeah, and we have budgeted appropriately so that we don't have to, especially with this amount.
Yeah.
Good question. Other questions from the court? If not, I'll entertain a motion to some effect on an action of that bid.
I guess we can accept it for negotiation, however, we gotta accept it, no matter what we do, right?
Okay?
I'll make a
one
motion to
before.
accept it.
So moved by the magistrate of the fourth to accept. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by the magistrate of the third. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Gentlemen, if you'll handle that one back to me, I'll make everybody copies of it. At this time, we'll now move into adjournment. Thank you very much. Next regularly scheduled meeting is August the 14th, 2023, 4 p.m. Central Time. Need a motion and a second for that.
Motion.
So moved by the magistrate of the 4th District, seconded by the magistrate of the 2nd District. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion passes. Thank you very much.